Most people worry about money. Maybe it's debt, maybe it's not being ready for an emergency, maybe it's not having enough savings, or just a feeling that no matter how much you earn, it's never gonna be enough. But in this video, I wanna share with you one simple money habit, just one. And this habit can dramatically improve your financial situation. I'll explain why it works and exactly how to start using it today. So make sure you watch until the end because this one habit might change your whole life. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Yidan. I reached financial freedom in my 30s by being very intentional with my money and choosing the right behaviors and building the right habits. And out of all the habits, the one I want to talk about today is called paying yourself first. So paying yourself first means this. Every time you get paid, whether it's from a paycheck or a freelance payment or a bonus or business income, before you pay your bills, before you buy anything else, you automatically move anywhere from 20 to 70% of that money to yourself. And automatic is the key here. So this habit is not about willpower because willpower runs out. Life gets busy and emotions get in the way. But if your money is already moved before you actually see it, there's nothing to decide and nothing to resist. That's how this habit actually works. And that money can go straight into your savings or investment accounts. It could be a retirement account with tax benefits or a brokerage account or a high yield savings account or a mix of different accounts. What you choose depends on your situation, your life stage, your goals, and your risk tolerance. But why 20 to 70%? And since that's a relatively big range, what is the specific percentage for you? Well, I will explain that later in this video. By that time, you know exactly the number that makes sense for you. But before we get there, I want to show you why paying yourself first matters so much, what benefits it can bring, and which money problems it can actually solve. The first money problem it can solve is to help you get out of debt faster, especially high interest debt. So high interest debt includes things like credit cards, payday loans, personal loans, or some private student loans. In general, anything that's charging over 6 to 7% interest is considered high interest. But when you pay yourself first, that money can be used to make extra principal payments. That means you are paying down the balance faster, not just covering the minimum, which can save you a ton on interest. After you've paid off any high interest debt, the next money problem you want to solve is to build your emergency fund. And paying yourself first can help you with that too. So ideally, an emergency fund should cover anywhere from 3 to 6 months of your core expenses. And right now, according to a survey, only about 56% of adults worldwide could reliably access extra money if there is a crisis, which means that 44% of people do not have enough savings for an emergency or for any future needs. For them, any unexpected medical bills or job changes or market jobs could be very terrifying because they could have to go into debt or have to force sell at the worst times. But if they pay themselves first, each time they get paid, they will soon be able to handle crisis calmly. And on top of that, they can also take opportunities they might have avoided before because they're not just surviving anymore. They are able to react because of the security and also peace of mind from having an emergency fund in the first place. For example, if you don't like your job and you want to quit, now you can quit. Or if there's a great business opportunity elsewhere, now you can go ahead and grab it. Number 3, paying yourself first can make saving and investing automatic. If you set up automatic transfers, your money goes straight into savings accounts or your investment accounts without you even have to think about it. And that's the magic of automation. No matter what the headlines say, your money gets invested each month. And as you know already, consistency beats intelligence. So if you invest in index funds, historically, it grows about 7 to 10% each year. So if we assume the similar growth rate in the future, then your money could possibly grow at also 7 to 10% each year. Another great benefit paying yourself first can help you is to stop you from emotional spending. Most people spend first and save only if there's anything left. If you're one of them, it's likely that you might make emotional spending because you subconsciously know that you have money that is readily there and can be spent. But when you pay yourself first, that money is already gone, out of reach, before you can even see it. It's like putting your money behind a do not touch sign. It's automatically in your retirement account or brokerage account invested for you. And it's not easy or tempting to take it back to spend. And when you only spend what's left, you start cutting unnecessary expenses. You'll notice subscriptions you barely use, gym memberships you never go to, or other impulse purchases like online shopping. Now spending becomes intentional instead of emotional. And don't forget that paying yourself first also make you earn more. If you still want to spend like you did before and not downgrading your lifestyle, the only option now is to increase your income, because that way you have extra money to spend. So you have no excuses anymore, but need to figure out ways to earn more. And that could be negotiating your salary or getting a new job or pick up a side hustle like freelancing, consulting, or creating courses online. Okay, that's enough reasons for why paying yourself first is a good thing. The next question is, how much should you actually pay yourself first? Well, it depends on how fast you want to become financially independent. And financially independent simply means this: you've saved and invest enough money that your investment can pay for your living expenses, and work becomes optional. So what is enough? A common rule is this: when your investments equal 25 years of your annual spending, you're likely financially independent. Again, it's when your total investment portfolio is 25 times your yearly expenses. Here's a simple example. If you spend about, say, $40,000 a year, you will need 25 times that, which is about $1 million invested. And this 25-year rule isn't something that I made up. It comes from the 4% rule. So historically, a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds earns about 7 to 10% per year. And inflation takes about 2 to 3%. That leaves roughly 4 to 7% after inflation. And we'll just take 4% to be more conservative. So mathematically, your yearly spending divided by 4% gives you your target financial freedom number. That's where the number 25 comes from. Now let's get back to the real question. How long will it take for you to reach that 1 million, 2 million, or whatever number that means freedom to you? And the answer comes down to one thing: the percentage you pay yourself first. When you pay more to yourself from your take-home pay, 3 things happen at the same time. First, you invest more money every year. Second, you learn to live on less. And third, these 2 effects work together and speed everything up. Now let's take a closer look. This chart shows how one decision, how much you pay yourself first, can change the whole story. So x-axis is percentage of income you pay yourself first. Y-axis means the number of years until your investments fully cover your spending. Now every model has some assumptions, and we have 4 here. First, your investments grow about 4% per year after inflation, and we already explained that. Second, your spending stays consistent over time. Third, your income also stays the same. And fourth, you leave out investment income only, not principal. So let's take a look. If you pay 20% to yourself first, you spend 80% of your income. That means you need a large portfolio to replace that spending. In this case, your time to financial independence is about 41 years. So this looks a lot like a traditional full career. What if you pay 50% to yourself first? You spend only half and then save and invest the other half. Now you need much less money to support your lifestyle. Your time to financial independence now is 18 years. As you can tell here, going from 20% to 50% doesn't just save a few years, it cuts decades. Why? Again, 3 things happen at the same time. You invest more, you need less to live on, and these 2 effects work together and speed everything up. Okay, then what will happen if you pay, say, 70% to yourself first? You will live on very little compared to what you earn. Your investments grow much faster, and your time to financial independence is only about 11 years. And this is why high savers retire shockingly early. Like Mr. Money Mustache, he retired at age 30. He was a former software engineer and saved about 70 to 75% of his income while working. Also, Vicki Robin, the author of the book Your Money or Your Life, and this is actually one one of my favorite books about financial independence. She retired even in her 20s. Now, I want you to pause for a second and observe this graph because there are two very important takeaways I want to share with you here. First, the relationship of the number of years needed to be free and the percentage you pay yourself first is not linear. The curve is very steep at low savings rate. Notice how the numbers of year to be free drop fast in lower percentage range. That means that early increases in your pay yourself first rate give you huge time savings. Going from saving 10% to 20% can cut many years off your timeline, but going from 60% to 70% only saves a few years. This means that for most people, you don't need to be extreme to see big results. Even small changes early on matters a lot. Second, income matters far less than your savings rate. This is something very important here. We're not talking about how much you earn. It doesn't matter if you make $2,000 a month or $20,000 a month. The number of years to financial freedom doesn't change. The result is independent of your income level because you can make $500,000 a year, but if you decide to spend it all, then you will never reach financial freedom. What actually matters here is how much you save compared to how much you spend. That ratio is the single most important factor you should focus on. One more thing, this setup is very conservative. In this model, we assume that you only live off investment income and never touch the principal. But in real life, many retirees also spend on some of their principal. So it means that these timelines are on the safe side. For many people, financial independence may come even sooner. So depending on how many years you want to take to reach financial independence, you can now use this graph and find your target pay yourself first percentage. There's also another more practical approach. You can start small, begin by paying yourself, say, 10% or 15%. This can help you build a habit and your emergency fund. This is your baseline, the level that you can sustain. But after a couple of years, you can increase it to 20 to 30%. If you want to move even faster, whenever you get a bonus, a raise, or a psychic income, pay yourself all of it. That alone can push your savings rate to 60% or even higher without changing your day-to-day life. Now you have it, the one habit that can eliminate most money problems and help you build real wealth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be rich already. You just need to be consistent. Start where you are, automate it, and let time do the heavy lifting. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like this one as well. I'll see you there.